Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my greenhouse. My name is Joe. In today's video, what I'd like to do is actually share with you the contents of a box that has just arrived. I've actually ordered myself a couple of new cacti for my collection. It's a early Christmas present to myself. That's the intention. Or maybe the excuse. So this nice box of new cacti for my collection has actually just arrived. I've ordered them online and I've ordered them from a quite well-known nursery here in Germany called Chiemgau Kaktus, and it's run by a gentleman called Michael Kiesling. He has a very nice online store, which is where I've ordered these. I've unfortunately not yet actually had the chance to visit his nursery, but that's very high on my to-do list, and so hopefully in the next few months I'll have a chance to actually visit Michael Kiesling in his nursery, Chiemgau Kaktus. And he has, as he says on the webpage, quite a significantly larger selection of plants even in his nursery than he has on his web pages. And already the web pages have a pretty impressive selection of cacti and other succulents. And what I really like about the selection is that he grows and sells plants from various genus and species that are not that common and not that commonly found often in other nurseries. Anyway, so let's see what's in the box. They're very nicely packed, and they also arrived very quickly after actually ordering online. So the plants have been really nicely packed, and they have all been left in pots, which is really how I very much prefer to actually receive cacti. So still planted in their original pots and substrate as well. Now let's take a look at this here. This looks like a Gymnocalycium. Oh, this is a beautiful, beautiful Gymnocalycium. Look at the spines. It's truly, truly beautiful. And actually it says on the label here kleiner Herbstgruß, so that's a small, as he calls it, autumn present. Thank you so much, Michael Kiesling. That's really appreciated. It's a beautiful plant, Gymnocalycium monvillei, and yeah, this is really, really nice. Wow, thank you. The plants are very well packed. That's really nice, and especially appreciated because when they're sent with the original pots and substrate, it's really important that they're properly packed, so that you only have a little bit of substrate actually that has been lost from the top of the pot, and you can then very easily just refill that back in again. Just to give you an idea, this is how the plants have been packed, and yeah, that's really very, very good. Here's a Echinophosulocactus, and it's a species which is not yet been determined. It's labeled species CSD310. Let me just bring this to the camera here. It's a beautiful Echinophosulocactus, and I've actually ordered myself a few species from this genus. I love these plants. They're just wonderful to look at, even without their beautiful blooms. They've got these really wavy, thin ribs, loads and loads of thin, wavy ribs, and for that reason, The cactus is sometimes also given the common name brain cactus. Here's another new member to my Echinophyllocactus collection, and you'll see in a moment this is another one of the species from the genus of Echinophyllocactus. So these wonderful cacti with many very thin wavy ribs, and this one has the most amazing central spines. And this is Echinophyllocactus erectocentris. So it's got these very strong, broad central spines, and again, the characteristic multiple thin, wavy, laminar ribs. I'll just turn it around for you a little bit. Hopefully it comes out in focus. Beautiful. Again, collecting some of the surplus substrate, and you can actually see perhaps the substrate is a pretty much almost entirely mineral substrate, so there's hardly any organic material that I can make out. Maybe 10% or less is my guess, but it's otherwise a purely mineral rich, very well draining substrate, and it looks really good. You know, and talking about the substrate that these cacti are already growing in, it's one of the reasons why I actually, if I can, prefer ordering my plants from specialist cactus nurseries, either by visiting in person or ordering from their online catalogs, from their online shops. But you know, it makes such a big difference to the plants that you will get in supermarkets and in plant centers. Most of those will have been grown in mainly organic, often, you know, just entirely peat rich or coconut fiber rich substrate, and that's really to get them to grow very quickly to a sellable size. Now, in contrast to that, you get these plants from the professional growers that are grown in you know, proper cactus substrate, mineral rich, and this is where you can actually immediately see that these plants are not at the same high risk of root rot that many of the plants that you'll get in supermarkets will actually be exposed to. So again, you know, one of the reasons why I always recommend, and I do that myself, of course, when I do buy occasionally plants from plant centers, supermarkets, etc., that are standing in this very organic rich material, I take them out of that material as soon as I can. I carefully remove as much as possible of that peaty, organic rich substrate, wash that off the roots carefully, dry the roots properly, keep them, you know, keep the plant in a relatively dry and you know, shady location for a couple of days, so that there's no remaining dampness around the roots. And then I repot. I put those plants into a proper cactus soil, so a very well draining, mineral rich, gritty cactus soil, and that makes sure that the plants are, you know, the moment they join my collection, they're already growing in a proper cactus substrate. Back to the unpacking. Now, what's this one here? The next one coming up is, wow, again, beautiful spines coming out of this unpacking, and it's another Echinophyllocactus. This is crispatus, Echinophyllocactus crispatus, and as I was saying, I've wanted to actually add a few new species from the genus Cactus to my collection. And so here's another addition, Cactus crispatus. And look at this wonderful, wonderful plant. So here's another new Cactus. This is Cactus multicostatus. So the multiple ribs, multicostatus. And that of course holds for pretty much every species in this genus. Multiple thin wavy ribs that have these characteristic spines, and especially broad sort of central spines with beautiful coloration. Another wonderful, wonderful plant. Look at that. So let's see what's in store with this next little package here. And this is another Gymnocalycium, and this is Gymnocalycium dubniorum. Let me just shake the substrate off the plant a little bit so that you can actually see it a bit better. And again, beautiful spines on this Gymnocalycium. I was quite keen to get a couple of new Gymnocalyciums for my collection, and I was looking for a few that had very unusual, very beautiful spines. They're beautiful, and they're truly well armored. So what's this one coming up here now? I can see some wonderful huge spines, again very strong spines, and it's clearly another one of my new Gymnocalycium additions. Now this is Gymnocalycium gibbosum, variation brachypetalum. So Gymnocalycium gibbosum, variation brachypetalum. Wow, it's a beautiful plant. Quite dark epidermis with strong spines again. Very much like the type of Gymnocalyciums that I really, really like. Strong spines and beautiful coloration of the outer skin, the epidermis. Look at that wonderful, wonderful plant. I must say I'm really looking forward to the blooms next year of these new Gymnocalyciums. Here's a beautiful, it's one that I actually used to grow, and unfortunately several years ago lost that specimen. It's Gymnocalycium bruchi, which is quite a well-known Gymnocalycium. This is a very nicely spined specimen. Up next is a Coryphantha. This is an addition to my already quite nice collection of various Coryphantha that I'm growing, and this is a species that I discovered on the website of Michael Kiesling. It's Coryphantha borwigii or borwigii. Isn't that pretty? What a wonderful Coryphantha. Coryphantha are just wonderful plants, I find, to be growing, because not only do they look very, very pretty when they're you know, just without even their flowers, but once they start flowering, they are just so spectacular in any collection. They have the most amazing flowers coming in many colors. So let's see what the next one here brings. And let me just carefully open this up here. Here we've got another new addition to my Coryphantha collection. Wonderful small growing Coryphantha with these radial spines. It's beautiful. This is one that is labeled as a new species, so far undescribed, and it's called Coryphantha species CB07003. And it's, as I say, it's marked as a new discovered species, so far undescribed, so scientifically not yet described. Isn't that a beautiful, beautiful Coryphantha? Now, this next plant coming up here is... this is beautiful. This is a Stenocactus hexadrophorus, and it's the variation Lloydii. So this is another addition to my Stenocactus collection. Stenocacti are another one of my favorite cactus genuses. Again, wonderful to be growing because of their not just beautiful appearance, but also the just spectacular blooms that they show already very early in spring and then throughout the summer. There you go. Stenocactus hexadrophorus variation Lloydii. This is a truly beautiful specimen of Stenocactus hexadrophorus, which is one of my favorites from this genus, and I've actually got a special feature video on the channel on this Stenocactus hexadrophorus, and I wanted to get this additional plant. This is Stenocactus. It's another Stenocactus hexadrophorus, and this is now a quite long-spined form of Stenocactus hexadrophorus, and because I love this plant, I love this species, I wanted actually to get one or two additional forms and variations to hexadrophorus, Stenocactus hexadrophorus. There you go. Look at this one. Isn't that wonderful? So it's got these yellow and dark red colored spines. A wonderful plant. This is great fun. And I must say, the plants are all in wonderful condition. They're all looking very strong, very good, and in super strong, good health. Here's another one of my favorites, Stenocactus, another Stenocactus, and this is Stenocactus bicolor, and it's a multicostata version or form. So it's Stenocactus bicolor form multicostata, which is multicostata, of course, meaning multiple ribs. So it's actually a form of the quite well-known Stenocactus bicolor, which I'm also growing in my collection already, but it's a form that has quite a number of ribs more than the actual main version, if you like, the common form that you more commonly find in collections. So here's multicostata. multiple ribs. Beautiful spines as well. Wonderful plant. Really excited about the blooms of this one. All these telocacti actually start flowering already at quite young age. Right, so what's this one coming up now? This is a mammillaria. This is a mammillaria that I don't have too many mammillarias in my collection so far, I must say. And so I was on the lookout for some somewhat unusual mammillarias, and this one here, Mammillaria longiflora, really caught my attention on the web shop pages of Chiemgau Kaktus. It's a wonderful plant, and it's got these very long central spines with a hook at the end, and it's also meant to have beautiful flowers, and hence the name longiflora, quite large, longish flowers. So Mammillaria longiflora. Beautiful plant. So here's the next new member of my collection coming up for you, and wow, this is another wonderful plant. This is a Ferocactus, and yeah, Ferocacti, they're among my all-time favorites of cacti, simply because they're such wonderful plants with these very strong spines, beautifully shaped, beautifully colored, and these Ferocacti are among the most beautiful cacti I find. They very often only get their flowers at quite some number of years of age, but they are such wonderful plants that even without flowers, they're just beautiful to look at, and they're very nice to grow in any collection. I've got quite a number of Ferocacti in my collection. This was a new one to me, Ferocactus 40, and it's a relatively small growing Ferocactus, because some of these Ferocacti can become quite huge, quite large plants, but this form, Ferocactus 40, is actually a relatively small growing species, but it's a beautiful, beautiful plant. Look at those spines, the coloration, and just the plant itself is beautiful. Right, so we're going to take a look at this next one now, and I'm very curious what this next little package has in store for me. Another beautiful, beautiful Ferocactus. This is Ferocactus viridescens, and it's a cultivar. Take a look at how nicely, again, this one has been packed, just to make sure that the spines are well protected during transport, and also the way that the additional paper has been wrapped around the base of the plant. It prevents the substrate from spilling out of the pot. There you go, another wonderful, wonderful Ferocactus for my collection of Ferocacti. Ferocactus viridescens. Wow, I must say, so far I'm absolutely blown away by the beauty of the plants and by the wonderful, strong, healthy specimens that these plants coming from Chiemgau Kaktus actually are. Now let's see what this next plant is going to be. Wow, this is, I was just going to say, it's actually a Ferocactus, but it's not. It's a very close relative to a Ferocactus. It's a glanduli cactus, Gymnocalycium crassihamatus, and let me just show you. Its appearance is very similar, very close to a Ferocactus, with these characteristic very strong spines, yellowish dark red spines with the characteristic hook, the fish hook at the end of the central spine. A wonderful plant. Look at this sort of bluish green outer skin, the epidermis. It's got this wonderful coloration, and together with the spines, an absolutely magnificent plant. Now here's something with a lot of spines coming. You can actually see the spines protruding through the packaging. Can you see it there? Let's see what's coming here. This is quite exciting. Oh wow, beautiful. Oh, this is one that I've been meaning to get myself for quite some time. It's an Azureo cereus, and it's a beautiful blue cereus, and that's of course what the name refers to. It's Azurocereus hertlingianus. Wonderful cactus. That's a really beautiful cereus, and it's been on my wish list since one of my recent cactus tours. If you haven't checked out those videos, I've got botanical garden, cactus and succulent tours on the channel. There's one that takes you to the Berlin Botanical Gardens, and there's another that is a visit to the Palm Gardens in Frankfurt, the Palmengarten. Next one coming up. Let's see what's in the wrapper here. This is a Cactus, or Parodia as they're now called. And it's a Parodia turecianus. This is one that I've not actually had in my relatively larger collection of Parodia, and turecianus is a very nice addition, I think, to my collection. There we go. So let's see what the next one is. Just carefully unpacking here. Oh, wonderful. This is a Weingartia, a new Weingartia addition to a couple of others that I already have from this genus. And it's Weingartia sucrensis. Fantastic spines. Look at that. Like I say, they're actually really fantastic cacti from South America, and they've got such rich blooms. Really something I'm looking forward to in the spring. And this is a wonderful addition to my other Weingartias, Weingartia sucrensis from Bolivia. Right, on. Let's see what's coming next. This is exciting, and it is a wonderful, wonderful early Christmas present to myself, as I've mentioned. Oh, fantastic. Look at this. I actually decided to get myself a Ariocarpus that I do not yet have in my collection, and this is Ariocarpus retusus, of course. Wonderful plant, and I've got a bunch of Fissuratus which I've grown from seeds. It's taken me the best part of the last 15 to 20 years to grow those, and so in this case I've decided I'm actually going to purchase by myself a retusus, and hopefully it'll fit into the collection nicely, and we'll be showing its flowers next year then. It's got large white flowers, of course. A wonderful, a beautiful specimen. Ariocarpus retusus. I'm really excited about this one. To be honest, I'm very excited about all of them. It's like the famous kid in the candy store. Let's see, we're moving towards the bottom part of the box, and there's something larger in store coming here. Let's see, it's a slightly larger pot. Oh wow, look at this. This is a beautiful, beautiful small growing cereus. So a columnar cactus from the genus Erdisia apiciflora. And the reason I noticed and ordered this one was I had never actually really heard about this genus before. And so I saw the pictures on the catalog of Michael Kiesling, Chiemgau Kaktus, and I had to order this one, Erdisia apiciflora. A really beautiful small cereus. Now this is quite exciting. It's actually got, if I can see this correctly, it actually has a tiny little flower bud there. And I'm not expecting that one to be opening during this growing season anymore. We're obviously at the end of it, and I suppose if it's not rejected by the plant and it's still there in spring, that would be one to look out for in spring, and to actually discover the flowers that this Erdisia actually has and brings. Here's another slightly larger pot, and let's see what's coming here. Nicely packed as all the rest of them. Oh yes, beautiful, beautiful. Here's another quite unusual genus, and this is Arequipa hempeliana. That's a beautiful, beautiful cactus, and it's, again, I noticed it because it's a quite unusual genus, and I really was very curious to see this plant and to actually try growing it in my own collection. Again, it's got really strong roots, lots of roots coming out of the base of the pot, so that's something for the next repotting phase. Let me just remove some of these small fragments of substrate from the spines. I'll do that properly later. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm really happy about this one. Again, a quite unusual and rare cactus addition to my collection. And wow, here's the last one from this unboxing and from this early Christmas gift order, early Christmas gift to myself. And what have we got here? This is another beautifully spined Gymnocalycium. It's actually, I can see it is Gymnocalycium achirazense, that's what I've said, and it's the variation Villa Mercedense. Variation Villa Mercedense. It's a quite rare form. Let me just remove this here. Wow. Beautiful. It's a really beautiful Gymnocalycium and a very strong plant. It's beautiful. Can't wait to see the flowers on this one as well. And again, beautifully rooted, a very strongly rooted plant. Lots of roots coming out of the base of the pot there. You can probably see that. Beautiful. Folks, that's it for this video. A order of cacti, an order that I made online with Chiemgau Kaktus here in Germany, in southern Germany. And I must say, a absolutely stunning variety of new additions to my collection. I'm really, really happy about these plants. They're all looking really strong and beautiful. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this unboxing video. And if you did, then I'd really appreciate if you actually gave me a like. If you commented, that would be fantastic as well. And if you haven't yet subscribed, then please click the subscribe button. And that just leaves me to say, have a great day, stay safe, and hope to see you very soon again. Happy growing!